Our People in Politics correspondent Nick Martin joins me now. Nick, it's good to see you, and you've looked at this in depth. What kind of response has there been to your investigating?
Yeah, good evening, Matt. Nice to talk to you. We had an enormous response to the documentary and our coverage on Sky News last week. I had hundreds of emails, and there was lots of discussion about Nonita's story on social media and a lot of sadness about her story. And during the course of making the documentary, a few questions really came to the fore, and that was the level of care that Nonita was given by her council, her corporate parent, and the NHS and all of the agencies around her. And after we broadcast that story, there was quite a lot of conversation held within Barnet Council, her corporate parent. And at the end of the week, there were calls for an emergency meeting, for the leader of the council to resign, and claims that the council simply did not know about Nonita's story and her case, which is quite remarkable when you think of it. Now, today I spoke to the leader of the Conservative group at Barnet Council, Peter Zinkin, and he told me that the first time he knew about Nonita's death, bearing in mind he is technically a corporate parent, was the night before we broadcast the documentary, and the chief executive wrote to councillors to warn them of what was coming. Here's what he had to tell me earlier today.
I have never seen people so angry about something in the 12 years approximately that I've been a councillor. And they were angry that they didn't know, and that all this had happened and all these different things had happened, and nobody had had the sense to tell councillors about it.
What did you and your colleagues know about Nonita Grabovskyte, her life and her death?
The answer is very little, in that just, I think, before your documentary came out, or as your documentary came out, the chief executive of the council sent a note to all councillors telling us about the documentary, which was the first I personally knew about it.
So just let me be clear then, the leader of the council nor the cabinet member responsible chose to inform councillors?
No.
At key points?
No, at no point.
What do you think about that?
Well, I am cross about it. How could they not tell us? Because if they had told us, we would immediately have asked what happened, whose fault was it, because that's unfortunately the question that everybody does ask. What have we learned, and are we doing it better now? And that's why we refer to a toxic culture of secrecy and cover-up, because it may all be fine, it may not. But how are we supposed to know? You know, what's happened has happened, and somebody needs to be held accountable, which is why we have asked for the resignations of the leader of the council and the cabinet member for family-friendly Barnet, as they like to call it.
Now, over the course of the last few days, we've actually learned that since 2022, a total of 3 care leavers in the care of Barnet Council have died, Nonita Grabovskyte being one of them. I have no more information about the other 2. But Barnet Council, you know, could be any other council in the country. All councils are severely stretched. But the way that Barnet handled this, there are now some serious questions. And this was raised in Westminster today, Nonita's story raised at the Public Accounts Committee. This is the mention that they had for her today.
You may be aware of the death of Nonita Grabovskyte, I hope I pronounced her name correctly, who took her life at 18 after she'd moved out of the children's social care system into the adult social care system. And it seems as though there may be a gap there. She begged her local CAMS for one more meeting before she transferred, and she was denied that. A Sky News analysis found that 91 care leavers aged between 16 to 25 died in the past year alone, almost 2 every week. What should we do about this gap between children's and adult social services to prevent these sad young people losing their lives?
So huge questions now to be asked about who knew what when about the death of 18-year-old Nonita. We know that there were 2 reviews carried out at Barnet Council into lessons that could be learned into her death. Those reviews, crucially, have not been made public and they were not available to us. We also know that there was a meeting, a corporate parenting meeting where Nonita was mentioned, but nothing more was said. So allegations that there is a culture of silence and cover-up do have to be addressed by Barnet Council. Now, I've been asking that authority for an interview for the last 4 months. Tomorrow I will sit down with the leader of Barnet Council. We will talk all of this through and I hope to bring you that tomorrow evening.